Channel, we do tell you about the woke world that we live in, don't we? And it's fascinating, as we told you recently, with the Oxfam store putting out that leaflet at great expense, and then finding out, of course, that people are now dropping donations at a huge fee. I mean, incredible when you think, what did they think was going to happen? The public decide whether they wish to support you or not. Recently, of course, there was that big explosion regarding the brilliant books written by Roald Dahl. I think everybody's read one of those at some point. And then magical children's books also being turned into films and musicals. But what's fascinating here now is this. If you think about it, one of the best-selling British authors ever, alongside Dame Agatha Christie, was none other than this lady. That's right, Enid Blyton. Now, Enid Blyton, of course, was famous for all of those books, the famous five, the Secret Seven, so many different stories cherished by so many different childhoods. Fascinating reading even today. Yes, she paints a picture-perfect world of perhaps a 40s, 50s, even early 60s childhood, but it was escapism. Now, the woke brigade, as we told you recently, have decided that they don't want that content in book, and certain versions of those books will be rewritten, apparently, to be less offensive. But it goes a stage further than that now, because, while you can still buy the original versions of the books online, many bookstores will only now stock the brand new versions, the bigger picture versions. But now also, there's this. As ever, let me explain. Now, I don't know about you, but when you go into a library, you like to think that you have a freedom of choice. There's everything there, isn't it, that you require to make your reading, pleasurable, as it were. Now, the libraries have decided, particularly over here in the United Kingdom, that the bigger picture is this. They want to make sure that those particular original versions of those books are out of reach. And according to recent research, if you want to pick up the original Famous Five, or indeed the Secret Seven, then you have to ask for it. It's behind closed doors. Now, isn't it a strange state of affairs that we have to be told that we have to ask for it and it simply can't be given? It's not out there in the public domain for you to pick up. So, of course, the only versions here that your child or grandchildren could actually read would be the brand new woke version, not the version that sold millions of copies around the world by a world famous author. We contacted quite a few of these libraries and they basically said, well, it's the way that people now think and we don't want to offend anybody. How about not offending us? The bottom line is, why are we not being offended by this? It's one-sided again, isn't it? A minority against a majority. Now, as an author myself, I would hate to think in years to come anybody was offended by anything that I'd written. But the bottom line is, those were the words in the context of that moment. Why simply should it be changed to suit the narrative of the few rather than the so many? As ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.